She's just a Marina waitress. She'll never belong in our world. Harrison's father had declared 6 years ago, banning Monique from the family yacht forever. New Year's Eve. The Wellington family arrived for their annual yacht party, a 30-year tradition. A security guard stopped them at the dock. "I'm sorry. The Marina is under new ownership. The owner would like to meet all vessel owners personally." Harrison's father laughed. "Who bought our Marina?" A golf cart pulled up. Monique stepped out wearing a burgundy designer pantsuit, box braids cascading down her back. "Hello, Wellingtons. I'm the new owner." Harrison dropped his champagne cooler. But then 3 children jumped off the cart. "Mommy, is this where Daddy's boat is?" They pointed at Harrison. "Him! He looks like our pictures!" Harrison's wife clutched her pearls. "Harrison, what is happening?" Monique smiled. "Happy New Year, your slip fees just tripled." But before we dive into the full story, let me know where you're watching from and what time it is. Now, subscribe to the channel and let's get started. "Do you ever think about her?" Catherine's voice cut through the silence of their bedroom. Harrison opened his eyes. The ceiling was white and empty. He did not want to answer. He did not want to lie this early in the morning. "Think about who?" Harrison asked. Catherine turned away from him. Her blonde hair spread across the expensive pillow. "Never mind," she said. "I don't actually care." Harrison sat up in bed. His back hurt. Everything hurt lately. He looked at his wife. She was already reaching for her phone. She scrolled through something. Shopping websites, probably. Catherine always shopped when she was unhappy. She had been shopping for 6 years. "I need to go to the office," Harrison said. "My father wants to talk about tonight." "The party," Catherine said without looking up from her phone. "Of course, the famous Wellington New Year's Eve party. We wouldn't want to disappoint anyone." Harrison walked to the bathroom. He showered and put on his suit, a gray suit that cost more than most people's monthly rent. He tied his tie in the mirror. The man looking back at him was 40 years old. He looked tired. His light brown hair was perfect. His face was clean. But his eyes looked empty. Harrison walked downstairs. Catherine was already in the kitchen drinking coffee. She wore a white robe. She did not look at him when he entered. "Don't forget to pick up your tuxedo," Catherine said. "The party starts at 7 o'clock. "I remember," Harrison said. "Do you? Because last year you forgot the champagne." "That was one time." "Once is enough when your father is involved," Catherine said. She finally looked at him. Everything has to be perfect for Richard Wellington. Harrison did not answer. He grabbed his keys and walked to the garage. His silver Mercedes waited for him. The car was clean and expensive. Everything in his life was clean and expensive. He drove out of their neighborhood in Newport Beach. Large houses lined the streets. Palm trees stood perfectly straight. Everything looked beautiful. Everything looked fake. Harrison drove to his father's office building in Costa Mesa. Wellington Real Estate Group owned the entire building. Richard Wellington's name was on the front in large gold letters. Harrison parked in his assigned spot. He took the elevator to the 10th floor. His father's secretary, Margaret, smiled at him. "Good morning, Harrison," Margaret said. "Your father is waiting for you." Harrison walked into his father's office. Richard Wellington sat behind a massive desk. He was 65 years old, but looked strong and powerful. His silver hair was combed back. He wore a 3-piece suit, even though it was a holiday. Richard looked up when Harrison entered. "Sit down," Richard said. It was not a request. Harrison sat in the chair across from his father. He had sat in this chair hundreds of times, thousands of times. Every time felt the same. Small, powerless. "Tonight is important," Richard said. "The Anderson family will be there. I'm negotiating a deal with them. I need you to talk to Thomas Anderson." Be friendly. Make him trust you." "What kind of deal?" Harrison asked. "That's not your concern. Your concern is making a good impression." "Can you do that?" "Yes, sir." "And Catherine? She'll behave herself?" "She'll be fine," Harrison said. Richard leaned back in his chair. He studied Harrison's face. "You look tired," Richard said. "You need to look sharp tonight. Everyone important in Newport Beach will be on that yacht. The Wellington family has hosted this party for 30 years. It's our tradition. It's our legacy." "I understand," Harrison said. "Do you?" Richard's voice became hard. "Because 6 years ago, you almost threw away everything this family built. You almost embarrassed us with that waitress." Harrison's chest tightened. He did not want to talk about this. He never wanted to talk about this. "That's in the past," Harrison said quietly. "The past defines the future," Richard said. "You made the right choice back then. You ended that ridiculous relationship. You married Catherine. You did what was necessary for this family. Remember that tonight. Remember what matters." "I remember," Harrison said. Richard dismissed him with a wave of his hand. Harrison stood and walked out of the office. His legs felt weak. They always felt weak after talking to his father. Harrison took the elevator down to the lobby. He walked outside into the California sunshine. The day was bright and clear. Perfect weather for a New Year's Eve party. Harrison got in his car, but did not start the engine. He sat in the parking lot for several minutes. His phone buzzed. A text message from Catherine. "Don't forget the tuxedo." Harrison drove to the dry cleaners. He picked up his black tuxedo in its plastic bag. The woman at the counter smiled at him. "Big party tonight?" she asked. "Yes," Harrison said. "Big party." He hung the tuxedo in the back of his car. He looked at his watch. It was only 11:30 in the morning. He had hours before he needed to be home. Harrison started driving. He did not plan where he was going, but somehow he ended up at Pacific Harbor Marina. Harrison parked his car in the visitor parking lot. He could see the boats in their docks, large yachts with white sails and polished wood. His family's yacht was the biggest one. It sat at the end of the main dock like a floating palace. Harrison walked along the pier. He passed families getting ready for their own celebrations. Children ran on the dock. A man washed his boat. A woman carried bags of food. Everyone looked happy. Harrison wondered what that felt like. He stopped in front of the Anchor Grill. The restaurant sat at the edge of the marina. It had tables outside with umbrellas. Harrison stared at the front door. He had not walked through that door in 6 years, but he remembered everything about it. He remembered the first time he saw Monique Rodriguez. She had been carrying 3 plates of food to a table. Her dark hair was pulled back in a ponytail. She was laughing at something a customer said. Harrison had watched her move between tables. She talked to everyone. She made people smile. She was different from anyone Harrison had ever met. Harrison remembered asking her out after his 3rd visit to the restaurant. She had said yes. They went to the beach. They walked along the sand and talked for hours. Monique asked him questions nobody else asked. She wanted to know what made him happy. She wanted to know what he dreamed about at night. She did not care about his last name or his money. They spent 6 months together, the happiest 6 months of Harrison's life. He planned to propose to her on Valentine's Day. He bought a ring. He picked a restaurant. He was finally going to do something right. But Richard found out. Harrison did not know how his father discovered the relationship. Maybe someone saw them together. Maybe someone told him. It did not matter. 1 week before Valentine's Day, Richard called Harrison into his office. "End it," Richard had said. "End it now." "I love her," Harrison had said. His voice had been shaking. "I want to marry her." Richard had laughed. Marry her? She's a waitress, Harrison. She serves food to people like us. She'll never belong in our world. If you marry her, I'll cut you off completely. No money, no job, no family. You'll have nothing. Is that what you want? Harrison had been terrified. He had never lived without money. He had never imagined living without his family's approval. He had been weak. He had been a coward. He broke up with Monique 2 days later. They met at the beach. Monique smiled when she saw him. She did not know what was coming. "We can't see each other anymore," Harrison had said. Monique's smile disappeared. "What? Why?" "It's not working," Harrison said. The words felt like glass in his throat. "We are too different." "Too different?" Monique's voice broke. "What does that mean? Yesterday, you said you loved me." "I was wrong." "You're lying," Monique said. Tears ran down her face. "Tell me the truth. Tell me what happened." But Harrison said nothing. He walked away from her. He left her crying on the beach. He went home and threw away the engagement ring. 2 weeks later, Monique was gone. Someone at the restaurant said she moved to Texas. Harrison never saw her again. 6 months later, he married Catherine. Their families approved. The wedding was expensive and elegant. Harrison felt nothing during the ceremony. He felt nothing during the reception. He had felt nothing for 6 years. Harrison's phone rang. He jumped. He was still standing in front of the Anchor Grill. He answered the phone. "Where are you?" Catherine's voice sounded annoyed. "You need to come home and get ready." "I'll be there soon," Harrison said. "You always do this," Catherine said. "You disappear into your own head. It's exhausting." She hung up before Harrison could respond. He put his phone back in his pocket. He took one last look at the Anchor Grill. Then he walked back to his car. Harrison drove home. Catherine was upstairs getting dressed. Harrison could hear her moving around in the bedroom. He went to the guest room and changed into his tuxedo. The black suit fit perfectly. He looked at himself in the mirror. He looked exactly like his father wanted him to look. Rich, successful, empty. At 5 o'clock, Harrison and Catherine drove to Richard and Patricia's house. The house was enormous. It sat on a hill overlooking Newport Beach. David and his wife were already there. Patricia greeted everyone at the door. Come in, Patricia said. She wore a silver dress and diamonds. "Richard wants to talk to everyone before we leave." They gathered in Richard's study. Richard stood by the fireplace. He looked at his family, his wife, his 2 sons, their wives. "Tonight is special," Richard said. "The Wellington family has thrown this New Year's Eve party for 30 years. 3 generations. It's our tradition. It shows everyone in Newport Beach who we are. It shows them what we've built. I'm proud of this family. I'm proud of our name." Patricia smiled. David nodded. Catherine looked at her phone. Harrison stared at the floor. "Let's make this the best party yet," Richard said. "Let's show them what Wellingtons are made of." Everyone followed Richard outside. 3 expensive cars waited in the driveway. Richard and Patricia got into the first car. David and his wife got into the second car. Harrison and Catherine got into the third car. Harrison drove in silence. Catherine sat beside him texting someone. The sun was setting over the ocean. The sky turned orange and pink. It was beautiful. Harrison felt trapped. The 3 cars drove through Newport Beach toward Pacific Harbor Marina. Harrison's hands gripped the steering wheel. His throat felt tight. He did not want to go to this party. He did not want to smile and shake hands and pretend everything was perfect. The cars turned onto Harbor Boulevard. The Marina entrance appeared ahead. Harrison saw Marcus, the security guard, standing at the gate. Marcus always waved them through. The Wellington family never had to stop. But today, Marcus raised his hand. The three cars slowed down. Richard rolled down his window in the first car. "What's going on, Marcus?" Richard's voice carried back to Harrison. Marcus looked nervous. "I'm sorry, Mr. Wellington," Marcus said. "The new owner requires a meeting with all boat owners before they can access the docks." Richard laughed. "New owner? What are you talking about?" Marcus pointed toward the Marina office. A white golf cart appeared in the distance. It rolled slowly toward them. Harrison could see someone sitting in the back seat. A woman in black. Harrison's heart started beating faster. Something was wrong. Something was very wrong. The golf cart came closer. The woman's face became clear. Harrison stopped breathing. It was Monique Rodriguez. The golf cart stopped 10 feet from the cars. Monique stepped out. She moved slowly. She wore a black dress that looked expensive. Diamond earrings caught the light. Her dark hair was styled perfectly. Her shoes were elegant. Everything about her was different. This was not the waitress Harrison remembered. This woman looked powerful. She looked like she belonged at expensive parties and business meetings. She looked like someone who controlled things. Harrison could not move. He sat in his car with his hands frozen on the steering wheel. Catherine was still looking at her phone. She had not noticed anything yet. Richard opened his door and stepped out of the first car. "Monique Rodriguez?" Richard's voice was loud. "Is that you?" Monique smiled. It was not a warm smile. "Hello, Mr. Wellington. Yes, it's me." "What are you doing here?" Richard demanded. "Marcus said something about a new owner." "What does that mean?" "It means exactly what it sounds like," Monique said calmly. "I bought Pacific Harbor Marina. I own it now." Richard's face changed. His confident expression disappeared. "You bought the marina?" "I did. Last month. For $42 million. Patricia got out of the car. She put her hand over her mouth. David and his wife stayed in their car. They looked confused. Harrison finally moved. He opened his car door. His legs felt weak. Catherine looked up from her phone. "What's happening?" Catherine asked. "Why did we stop?" Harrison could not answer. He walked toward the golf cart, toward Monique. His heart was beating so hard he could hear it in his ears. Then Harrison saw movement in the golf cart. 3 small figures jumped out from the back seat. Children. 3 children who looked exactly the same. 2 boys and 1 girl. They had dark hair like Monique. They wore matching blue jackets. The children ran to Monique and grabbed her hands. They looked at all the cars and people. Their eyes were wide and curious. One of the boys pointed at Harrison. "Mommy!" the boy shouted. "Mommy, that's him!" The little girl started jumping up and down. "That's the man from our pictures." The second boy stared at Harrison. "Is that really our dad?" Harrison felt the world tilt. He looked at the 3 children. He looked at their faces. They had Monique's smile. They had Monique's dark hair. But their eyes were different. Their eyes looked familiar. Harrison saw his own eyes looking back at him from 3 small faces. "What is this?" Catherine's voice cut through the air. She had gotten out of the car. She walked toward Harrison. "Harrison, what is going on?" Harrison could not speak. He could not make words come out of his mouth. "Who are these children?" Catherine grabbed Harrison's arm. Her fingernails dug into his skin through his jacket. "Harrison, answer me!" Monique walked forward. The 3 children followed behind her, holding on to her dress. Monique looked directly at Harrison. Her face showed no emotion. "Hello, Harrison," Monique said. Her voice was calm and clear. "It's been 6 years." "You know her?" Catherine screamed. "You know this woman?" Richard stepped between them. "Everyone calm down," Richard said loudly. "Let's handle this professionally. Monique, I don't know what game you're playing, but this isn't a game, Monique interrupted. This is business. I own this marina now. All boat owners need to meet with me before accessing the docks. That includes the Wellington family. That's ridiculous, Richard said. We've kept our yacht here for 3 generations. We have a contract. Your old contract ended last month, Monique said. The previous owner sold the marina to me. I'm offering new contracts with new terms. Patricia walked closer. She looked at the 3 children. She looked at Harrison's face. Patricia was not stupid. Harrison could see his mother understanding what was happening. Her eyes got very wide. How old are they? Patricia asked quietly. Those children, how old? They're 5 years old, Monique said. 5 years and 7 months. Catherine made a sound like she could not breathe. 5 years. Catherine looked at Harrison. 5 years? That means Harrison is their father, Monique finished the sentence. Yes, these are Harrison's children. Mason, Jacob, and Lily. Say hello to your father. The 3 children waved. Hi, they said together. David got out of his car. His wife got out too. They stood far back. They did not want to be part of this scene. This is impossible, Richard said. His face was turning red. If these are Harrison's children, why didn't you tell us? Why didn't you ask for money? This is some kind of trap. I don't need your money, Monique said. She smiled again. That cold smile. I have my own money now. Much more than you have, actually. What are you talking about? Richard demanded. After Harrison broke up with me, I found out I was pregnant, Monique said. She spoke clearly so everyone could hear. I was 2 months pregnant. I didn't tell Harrison because he had already made his choice. He chose you over me. He chose his family's approval over our relationship. So I left Newport Beach. I went to Austin, Texas. I had nothing. No money. No help. I worked 3 jobs while I was pregnant with triplets. Harrison felt sick. He tried to imagine Monique pregnant and alone. He tried to imagine her working 3 jobs. He could not make the image form in his mind. It was too horrible. After the babies were born, I kept working, Monique continued. I worked during the day. I took care of 3 babies at night. I taught myself computer programming using free videos. I built a software application for restaurant management. I designed it in my apartment between feeding babies and changing diapers. Why are you telling us this? Patricia asked. Her voice was shaking. Because you need to understand what happened after your son abandoned me, Monique said. My app became successful. Small restaurants across the country started using it. 3 years ago, a technology company offered to buy my company. I sold it for $900 million. Richard's mouth opened. No sound came out. 900 million, Monique repeated. I invested that money carefully. I bought real estate. I bought stocks. Last month I bought this marina. I came back to Newport Beach for one reason. I wanted my children to see where their father lived. I wanted Harrison to see what he lost. Catherine started crying. Loud, angry crying. You have children? Catherine screamed at Harrison. You have 3 children you never told me about. He didn't know, Monique said. I never told him I was pregnant. That was my choice. Why now? Harrison finally found his voice. It came out weak and broken. Why are you here now? Because my children deserve to know their father, Monique said. They asked about you. They wanted to know why you never visited. I showed them your picture. I told them you lived in Newport Beach. I told them the truth. I never lied to them. One of the boys, the one who pointed first, walked toward Harrison. The boy stopped a few feet away. Are you really our dad? The boy asked. Harrison knelt down. His legs were shaking. Yes, Harrison said. I think I am. Why didn't you come see us? The boy asked. We had 5 birthdays. You missed all of them. Harrison felt tears on his face. He did not know he was crying. "I didn't know about you," Harrison said. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." The little girl came forward too. "I'm Lily," she said. "That's Mason and that's Jacob. We're triplets. Do you know what triplets means?" "Yes," Harrison said. "It means 3 babies born at the same time." "We were born on June 3rd, Lily said. "Our birthday is in the summer. Mommy always makes us chocolate cake." Harrison looked up at Monique. She was watching him. Her face was hard. There was anger in her eyes. But there was also something else. Sadness, maybe, or regret. "What are their names?" Harrison asked. "I told you," Monique said. "Mason, Jacob, and Lily." "Lily is named after flowers," the little girl said. "Mommy likes flowers." Harrison looked at the 3 children standing in front of him. His children, 5 years old, 5 years of life he knew nothing about. 5 years of birthdays and holidays and first words and first steps. All gone. All lost forever. Catherine ran back to the car. She was still crying. Richard's face was purple now. He looked like he might explode. Patricia stood frozen. David and his wife were already getting back in their car. Harrison stayed on his knees looking at Mason, Jacob, and Lily. They looked back at him with curious eyes. They did not understand what was happening. They just knew this was the man from their photographs. The man their mother said was their father. "We need to discuss the new Marina fees," Monique said to Richard. "Would you like to come to my office?" Richard stared at Monique. His face was still dark red. "Your office?" Richard said. "You think I'm going to negotiate with you?" "I'm not negotiating," Monique said calmly. "I'm informing you of the new rates. You can pay them or you can move your yacht to a different marina." "This is blackmail," Richard said loudly. "You bought this marina just to get revenge on my family." "I bought this marina because it's a good investment," Monique said. "The location is excellent. The property value is high. It will make me a lot of money. If you feel targeted, that's your problem, not mine." Patricia stepped forward. She tried to smile. "Monique, surely we can be reasonable. The Wellington family has been here for 30 years. We've been good tenants. We've never caused problems." "The previous owner gave you special treatment," Monique said. "I don't give special treatment to anyone. Everyone pays the same rates." "What are the new rates?" David asked from behind. His voice was quiet. Monique pulled a folder from the golf cart. She handed it to Richard. "All the information is in there. Docking fees have tripled. Insurance requirements have increased. There's also a new annual membership fee for marina facilities." Richard opened the folder. He looked at the papers. His hands started shaking. "Tripled? You tripled the fees?" "The previous owner was charging too little," Monique said. "I'm charging market rate. Several boat owners have already signed new contracts. If you don't want to pay, there's a waiting list of people who will take your spot." "You can't do this," Richard said. "We have the New Year's Eve party tonight. We have 200 guests coming. This party has happened for 30 years. "Then you should pay the new fees quickly," Monique said. "My office is open until 6 o'clock today. After that, the marina closes for the holiday." Harrison stood up. His legs felt weak. Mason, Jacob, and Lily had moved back to their mother. They were watching everything with big eyes. Harrison wanted to talk to them. He wanted to ask them 1,000 questions. But Catherine was screaming. "I can't believe this," Catherine yelled. She was walking in circles by the car. "Everyone is staring at us. Everyone can see this." Other people at the marina had stopped to watch. Families getting ready for their own celebrations. Boat owners walking their docks. Marina workers. They all stood still, watching the Wellington family fall apart. "Let's go to your office," Richard said through his teeth. "We'll discuss this privately." "My office is for paying customers only," Monique said. "If you want to see the contract, you can read it here or take the folder with you." You have until 6 o'clock to decide." "This is extortion," Richard said. "This is business," Monique corrected him. "You taught me something 6 years ago, Mr. Wellington. You taught me that people with money and power can do whatever they want. You told your son to leave me because I was just a waitress. You said I would never belong in your world. Remember?" Richard's face went from red to pale. "I don't know what Harrison told you, but—" "Harrison didn't tell me anything," Monique interrupted. "I figured it out myself. A man doesn't suddenly end a relationship for no reason. A man doesn't walk away from someone he loves unless someone makes him. You made him choose between me and his family. He chose his family. That was 6 years ago. Now I have more money than your entire family combined. Now I own property you need. How does that feel, Mr. Wellington?" Patricia made a small sound. She looked like she might cry. David was already backing toward his car. His wife pulled his arm. "We should leave," David said quietly. "This isn't our problem." "Don't you dare leave," Richard snapped at David. "This is family business." "No," Monique said. "This is my business, my Marina, my rules. You have until 6 o'clock. Monique turned and called to her children. "Mason, Jacob, Lily, time to go. Say goodbye." The 3 children waved at the Wellington family. "Bye," they said together. Mason waved specifically at Harrison. "Bye, Dad," Mason said. The word hit Harrison in the chest. Monique and the children got into the golf cart. The driver turned the cart around. They drove back toward the Marina office. Harrison watched them disappear around a corner. Catherine ran to Harrison. She grabbed his jacket with both hands. "How could you?" Catherine screamed. "How could you do this to me?" "I didn't know," Harrison said. His voice sounded far away. "I didn't know about the children." "You knew about her!" Catherine screamed. "You had a relationship with that woman, and you never told me." "It was before we got married," Harrison said. 6 months before." Catherine's face was twisted with anger and tears. "You married me while you were still in love with her. I was second choice. I was the backup plan." Harrison could not deny it. It was true. He married Catherine because Monique was gone. He married Catherine because his family approved. He never loved her. She probably never loved him either. But hearing the truth spoken out loud made it worse. "Everyone is watching," Patricia said quietly. "We need to leave. We need to go home and discuss this privately." Richard threw the folder on the ground, papers scattered across the parking lot. "I will never pay her fees," Richard said. "Never. We'll move the yacht to Balboa Island Marina. We'll have the party there." "That marina is full," Patricia said. "You tried to get a spot there last year. They have a 5-year waiting list." "Then we'll find somewhere else," Richard said. "I don't care where. We're not giving that woman a single dollar." David and his wife got in their car. They did not say goodbye. They drove away fast. The car disappeared down Harbor Boulevard. Richard pointed at Harrison. "Get in your car. Follow me back to the house. We need to talk about this disaster." Harrison looked toward the Marina office. He could not see Monique or the children anymore. He wanted to stay. He wanted to walk into that office and ask Monique to let him talk to his children. But Richard was yelling, "Harrison, now!" Catherine was already in the passenger seat of Harrison's car. She was crying into her hands. Harrison walked slowly to the driver's side. He got in. His hands were shaking. He could barely hold the steering wheel. Richard and Patricia's car pulled away first. Harrison followed. They drove away from Pacific Harbor Marina, away from Monique, away from Mason, Jacob, and Lily. Harrison looked in the rearview mirror. The marina got smaller and smaller behind them. The drive to Richard's house took 15 minutes. Nobody spoke. Catherine cried quietly. Harrison drove on automatic. His mind was somewhere else. His mind was stuck on 3 small faces. 3 children who had his eyes. 3 children who called Monique Mommy and waved goodbye to him like he was a stranger. Because he was a stranger. He was their father, but he was a complete stranger to them. They arrived at Richard's house. The sun was setting now. The New Year's Eve party was supposed to start in 2 hours. But there would be no party. Richard called people from his study. Harrison could hear him yelling into the phone. Richard was canceling everything: the catering, the music, the bartenders. He told everyone there was a family emergency. Patricia sat on the couch in the living room. She held a glass of wine. Her hands shook. Catherine sat across from her. Catherine was not crying anymore. Now she looked angry. "I want a divorce," Catherine said. She looked at Harrison. "I'm done. I'm leaving you." Harrison nodded. "Okay," he said. "Okay?" Catherine stood up. "That's all you have to say? Okay?" "What do you want me to say?" Harrison asked. "You're right. This marriage was a mistake. We both know it." "You used me," Catherine said. "You married me to make your family happy. You never loved me." "Did you love me?" Harrison asked quietly. Catherine's mouth opened, then closed. She did not answer. Because she could not lie. She married Harrison for the same reason he married her. It looked good. Their families approved. It was easy. "This is exactly what I was afraid of," Richard said from the doorway. He had finished his phone calls. "This is why I told you to end that relationship 6 years ago. Look what she's done. She came back for revenge. She bought that Marina just to humiliate us." "She built a billion-dollar company," Harrison said. "She raised 3 children alone. She didn't come back for revenge. She came back because our children wanted to meet me." "Our children?" Catherine laughed. It was a mean laugh. "They're not our children, Harrison. They're yours and hers. I have nothing to do with them." "Nobody asked you to," Harrison said. Catherine grabbed her purse. "I'm leaving. I'm going to my parents' house. My lawyer will contact you tomorrow." She walked out of the house. The front door slammed. Patricia jumped at the sound. Richard poured himself a drink. Whiskey. He drank it in one swallow. "Tomorrow we start looking for lawyers. We'll fight her on those Marina fees. We'll find something illegal about her purchase. There's always something." "Why?" Harrison asked. "Why fight her?" "Because she's trying to destroy us," Richard said. "She's trying to take away our reputation, our tradition, everything we built." "We destroyed ourselves," Harrison said quietly. "You destroyed us 6 years ago when you made me leave her." Richard slammed his glass on the table. "I saved you 6 years ago. That woman would have ruined your life. Look at what she's become. She's vindictive and cruel." "She's successful," Harrison said. "She built something real. She raised 3 children while building a company. She did it alone, because I abandoned her." "You didn't abandon her," Richard said. "You ended a relationship. That's normal. People break up every day." "I ended it because you threatened to disown me," Harrison said. "I ended it because I was weak and scared." Patricia started crying. "Please stop fighting," she said. "This is terrible. This whole day is terrible." Harrison walked to the window. He looked out at the dark ocean. He thought about Monique somewhere in Newport Beach with their children. He thought about 5 years of bedtime stories he never read, 5 years of birthdays he never celebrated, 5 years of scraped knees and bad dreams and first days of school. All gone. All lost. "I'm going home," Harrison said. "We're not finished discussing this," Richard said. "Yes, we are," Harrison said. "I'm done talking." Harrison walked out of his father's house. He got in his car. Catherine's things were still in the passenger seat. Her sunglasses, her phone charger, her empty coffee cup. Harrison drove home alone. The house was dark and quiet. Harrison walked inside and turned on the lights. Everything looked the same, but everything was different. Harrison sat on the couch in his living room. He sat in the dark. He thought about the choice he made 6 years ago, the choice that destroyed everything. He chose his father's approval over love. He chose money over happiness. He chose to be weak instead of strong. And now he had nothing. A wife who hated him. A family who only cared about reputation. 3 children who did not know him. Harrison put his face in his hands. He sat alone in his expensive house and realized the truth. He destroyed his life 6 years ago, and he did not know if he could ever fix it. Harrison did not sleep that night. He lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. The house was completely silent. Catherine did not come home. Her side of the bed was empty and cold. Harrison's phone buzzed several times. Text messages from his mother. Text messages from his father. He did not read them. At midnight, fireworks exploded outside. Harrison could hear people celebrating the new year. Parties happening all over Newport Beach. People drinking champagne and kissing and making wishes. Harrison lay in the dark and thought about Monique holding 3 small children, counting down to midnight with Mason, Jacob, and Lily. He wondered if they were allowed to stay up late. He wondered if they asked about him. Morning came. The sun rose over the ocean. Harrison finally got out of bed. He had not changed out of his tuxedo. The black suit was wrinkled. His bow tie hung loose around his neck. He walked downstairs and made coffee. His hands shook while he poured the water. His phone rang. It was his father. Harrison answered. "Did you sleep at all?" Richard asked. His voice sounded tired. "No," Harrison said. "Neither did I. Neither did your mother. We've been up all night making phone calls." "Phone calls to who?" "Lawyers," Richard said. "I spoke to Martin Chen. You remember Martin. He handles all our real estate contracts. I explained the situation with the Marina. I asked him what legal options we have." Harrison sat at his kitchen table. "What did he say?" "He said there's nothing we can do," Richard said. His voice was angry. "The woman bought the Marina legally. She can charge whatever fees she wants. Martin looked at the contract she provided. Everything is legal. Every word follows California property law." "So that's it," Harrison said. "We have no case." "Martin suggested we just pay the fees," Richard said. "Can you believe that? He's supposed to be on our side. He's supposed to find a solution. Instead, he tells me to give that woman money." Harrison drank his coffee. It was too hot. It burned his throat. "Maybe we should pay the fees," Harrison said. "Absolutely not," Richard said. "I called 4 other lawyers this morning. I'm waiting for them to call me back. Someone will find a way to fight this." "Dad, she owns the Marina. She can charge what she wants." "You're giving up?" Richard's voice got louder. "Just like that? You're letting her win?" "This isn't about winning or losing," Harrison said. "This is about 3 children. My children. Your grandchildren." Richard was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "I don't accept them." "What?" "Those children. I don't accept them as part of this family. We don't know for sure they're yours. That woman could be lying. She could have gotten pregnant by someone else, and now she's blaming you because you have money." Harrison stood up. His chair fell backward and hit the floor. "I saw them, Dad. I looked at their faces. They have my eyes. They look exactly like David and me when we were kids. You saw them too. You know they're mine." "I know she kept them secret for 6 years," Richard said. "That's suspicious. Why didn't she tell you she was pregnant? Why didn't she ask for child support?" "Because this was always her plan. She wanted to get rich first. Then she wanted to come back and destroy us. Or maybe she didn't tell me because I broke her heart." Harrison said quietly. Maybe she didn't want anything from the family that rejected her. You're being emotional, Richard said. You're not thinking clearly. That woman is dangerous. She's manipulating you. First step is getting a paternity test. We need proof those children are yours. They're mine, Harrison said. I don't need a test to know that. I'm calling my lawyer anyway, Richard said. We'll demand a paternity test. We'll also demand she pay back child support from you. If she kept your children's secret, she owes you those years. That's insane, Harrison said. You can't sue someone for not telling you that you're a father. Martin will find a way, Richard said. I'm not letting this go. The Wellington name means something. We don't let waitresses humiliate us. Harrison hung up the phone. He threw it across the kitchen. It hit the wall and fell to the floor. The screen cracked. Someone knocked on the front door. Harrison walked slowly to answer it. He hoped it was not his father. He could not handle seeing Richard right now. He opened the door. It was Catherine. She wore sunglasses, even though the sky was cloudy. She carried 2 suitcases. I came to get the rest of my things, Catherine said. She did not wait for Harrison to invite her in. She walked past him into the house. You're moving out? Harrison asked. Obviously, Catherine said. She walked upstairs to their bedroom. Harrison followed. Catherine started pulling clothes from the closet. Dresses and shoes and handbags. She threw everything into the suitcases. Where are you going? Harrison asked. My parents' house in La Jolla, Catherine said. I'm staying there until I find my own place. My lawyer is drawing up divorce papers. You'll receive them in a few days. Okay, Harrison said. Catherine stopped packing. She turned to look at him. You don't care at all, do you? About the divorce? No, I don't care. You never loved me, Catherine said. It was not a question. It was a statement. No, Harrison said, I didn't. Catherine laughed. It was a bitter sound. At least you're finally being honest. 4 years of marriage and you're finally telling the truth. Did you love me? Harrison asked. Catherine pulled more clothes from the closet. I thought I could. I thought maybe we would grow to love each other. That's what my mother said. She said love comes after marriage, not before. She said we were a good match on paper. Same background, same social circle. Our families liked each other. We got married for the wrong reasons, Harrison said. Obviously. Catherine zipped one of her suitcases. My friends are going to have a great time talking about this. Harrison Wellington's secret children. The billionaire ex-girlfriend. It's going to be in all the society pages. I'm sorry, Harrison said. I'm sorry you're embarrassed. I don't care about being embarrassed, Catherine said. I care that everyone will think I wasn't enough for you. They'll think you were still in love with her the whole time we were married. I was, Harrison said quietly. Catherine threw a shoe at him. Harrison ducked. The shoe hit the wall behind him. You're a coward, Catherine said. You married me while you were in love with someone else. What kind of person does that? A weak person, Harrison said. Someone who does what his father tells him to do. Catherine grabbed both suitcases. She pulled them toward the door. My lawyer will contact you about dividing assets. I want half of everything. The house, the cars, your trust fund, all of it. Fine, Harrison said. Take it. You really don't care, do you? Catherine stopped in the doorway. You're just going to let me walk away with half your money? It's just money, Harrison said. It doesn't matter. Catherine shook her head. You've lost your mind. That woman and those children have completely destroyed you. She dragged her suitcases down the stairs. Harrison heard the front door open and close. He heard her car start. He heard her drive away. Harrison sat on the bed. The bed he shared with Catherine for 4 years. The bed where they slept back to back, never touching. The bed in a marriage built on nothing real. His phone rang again. Harrison walked downstairs. His phone screen was cracked, but it still worked. It was his mother calling. "Hello?" Harrison answered. "Harrison, honey, are you okay?" Patricia's voice sounded worried. "Your father told me you hung up on him." "I'm fine," Harrison said. "You're not fine," Patricia said. "Nobody is fine. This whole situation is a nightmare. Have you eaten anything? Do you want me to bring you food?" "I'm not hungry." "You need to eat something," Patricia said. "You need to take care of yourself. This stress isn't good for you." "Mom, can I ask you something?" "Of course, honey." "Did you know?" Harrison asked. 6 years ago, when Dad made me break up with Monique. Did you know he was doing that?" Patricia was quiet for a long moment. "Yes," she finally said. "I knew." "And you agreed with him?" "I thought he was protecting you," Patricia said. Her voice was soft. "Monique was from a different world. I didn't think she would fit into our life. I thought you would be happier with someone like Catherine." "Was I happy?" Harrison asked. "Did I look happy for the past 6 years?" Patricia did not answer. "I have 3 children," Harrison said. 3 children I didn't know about. They're 5 years old. 5 years, Mom. 5 birthdays I missed. 5 Christmases. Their first words. Their first steps. Everything. I missed everything because Dad told me to leave their mother, and I was too weak to say no." "You were trying to respect your family," Patricia said. "I was trying to avoid conflict," Harrison said. "I was scared of losing Dad's money. I was scared of being disowned. So I threw away the only real thing I ever had. And now those children don't know me. They wave at me like I'm a stranger, because I am a stranger." "It's not too late," Patricia said. "You can get to know them now. We can welcome them into the family." "Dad doesn't want them in the family," Harrison said. "He told me this morning. He doesn't accept them. He wants me to demand a paternity test. He thinks Monique is lying." "Your father is angry," Patricia said. "He'll calm down. He'll come around." "Will he?" Harrison asked. "Or will he keep demanding that I choose between him and my children?" Patricia did not answer. "I know what choice I'm making this time," Harrison said. "I'm choosing them. I'm choosing Mason, Jacob, and Lily, even if it means losing everything else." "Harrison, please don't make any big decisions right now," Patricia said. "You're emotional. You're not thinking clearly. Just wait a few days. Let everyone calm down." "I've waited 6 years," Harrison said. "I'm not waiting anymore." Harrison hung up. He picked up his car keys. He looked at himself in the hallway mirror. He still wore his wrinkled tuxedo from last night. His hair was messy. His eyes were red. He looked terrible. Harrison did not care. He walked out of his house. He got in his car. He drove toward Pacific Harbor Marina. His heart was beating fast. His hands were shaking on the steering wheel. He did not know what he would say to Monique. He did not know if she would even talk to him. But he had to try. He had to ask her to let him know his children. He had to tell her the truth about why he left 6 years ago. He had to tell her he was sorry, even if sorry was not enough. Harrison parked in the visitor lot at Pacific Harbor Marina. It was January 1st. Most businesses were closed for the holiday, but the marina office had lights on. Harrison could see people moving inside through the windows. He sat in his car for 20 minutes. His hands gripped the steering wheel. He tried to think of what to say. Every sentence sounded wrong in his head. How do you apologize for 6 years? How do you ask someone to forgive you when you cannot forgive yourself? Finally, Harrison forced himself to get out of the car. He walked slowly toward the marina office building. The building had been renovated recently. New paint, new windows. A sign by the door said, "Pacific Harbor Marina under new management." Harrison opened the door. A young woman sat at a desk in the lobby. She looked up and smiled. "Good morning. Can I help you?" "I need to speak with Monique Rodriguez," Harrison said. His voice came out rough. He had not used it much since last night. The woman's smile faded slightly. She looked at Harrison's wrinkled tuxedo, his messy hair. "Do you have an appointment?" "No," Harrison said, "but it's important. Please, I just need 5 minutes." "Miss Rodriguez is very busy today," the woman said. "If you'd like to make an appointment, I can schedule something for next week." "I can't wait until next week," Harrison said. "Please, just tell her Harrison Wellington is here. She'll know who I am." The woman's eyes widened slightly at his name. "One moment," she said. She picked up the phone and pressed a button. She spoke quietly. Harrison could not hear what she was saying. The woman hung up. "Miss Rodriguez, we'll be right out," she said. She did not smile anymore. Harrison stood in the lobby. His heart was beating very fast. He heard footsteps coming down a hallway. Then Monique appeared. She wore jeans and a white sweater. Her hair was pulled back. She was not wearing makeup. She looked younger without the elegant dress and diamonds. She looked more like the Monique Harrison remembered, the waitress who laughed at his jokes and asked him about his dreams, but her eyes were different. They were hard, guarded. "Why are you here, Harrison?" Monique asked. She did not come closer. She stood in the hallway with her arms crossed. "I need to talk to you," Harrison said. "About what?" "About Mason, Jacob, and Lily. About what happened yesterday? About 6 years ago. About everything." Monique looked at him for a long moment. Then she turned to her assistant. "Hold my calls," she said. She looked back at Harrison. "Come with me." Harrison followed Monique down the hallway. They walked to an office at the end. The office had large windows overlooking the ocean, a desk made of dark wood, comfortable chairs, photographs on the walls. Harrison looked at the photographs. They were pictures of Monique's children, Mason building something with blocks, Jacob holding a toy airplane, Lily painting at an easel. "Sit down," Monique said. She sat behind her desk. Harrison sat in the chair across from her. "Your office is nice," Harrison said. He did not know what else to say. "Thank you," Monique said. Her voice was cold, professional. "What do you want, Harrison?" Harrison took a deep breath. "I want to tell you the truth about why I left you 6 years ago." "I already know why," Monique said. "Your family didn't approve of me. I was a waitress. I wasn't good enough for the Wellington family." "It was my father," Harrison said. "He called me into his office 1 week before I was going to propose to you. I had the ring already. I had picked a restaurant. I was going to ask you to marry me on Valentine's Day." Monique's expression did not change. "But you didn't." "My father found out about us. I don't know how. He told me to end the relationship. He said you would never fit into our world. He said if I married you, he would disown me, cut me off from all the family money, fire me from the company, tell everyone in Newport Beach that I was a disgrace." "So you chose the money," Monique said. "I chose to be a coward," Harrison said. "I was scared. I had never lived without money. I had never stood up to my father. I had never made a choice that would disappoint him. So I did what he said. I broke up with you. I threw away the ring. I married Catherine 6 months later because she was someone my family approved of." "Why are you telling me this now?" Monique asked. "Because I need you to understand that leaving you was the worst decision of my life," Harrison said. "I thought about you every single day for 6 years. I drove past the Anchor Grill and wondered where you went. I wondered if you were happy. I wondered if you thought about me." "I did think about you," Monique said quietly. "Every time I looked at Mason, Jacob, and Lily, every time they asked why they didn't have a father, every time I worked 3 jobs, and came home so tired I could barely stand. I thought about you living in your big house with your perfect life. I thought about how you chose that life over me." "I'm sorry," Harrison said. "I know sorry isn't enough. I know I can't change what happened, but I need you to know I didn't know about them. I didn't know you were pregnant. If I had known—" "What?" Monique interrupted. "What would you have done? Would you have stood up to your father? Would you have chosen us over your family money?" Harrison opened his mouth, then closed it. He wanted to say yes. He wanted to say he would have made a different choice. But 6 years ago, he had been weak. 6 years ago, he probably would have done exactly what his father wanted, even knowing about the pregnancy. "I don't know," Harrison said honestly. 6 years ago, I was a different person. A weaker person. But I'm here now. I'm asking you to give me a chance to know my children, to be their father." "You're asking me this now?" Monique said. "After they were revealed to you? After everyone knows about them? You want to be a father, now that you have no choice?" "No," Harrison said. "I want to be a father because when I saw them yesterday, something broke inside me. I looked at their faces and realized I missed 5 years. 5 years I can never get back, and I can't miss any more. I can't let another day go by without knowing them." Monique stood up. She walked to the window. She looked out at the ocean for a long time. Harrison waited. His hands were shaking. He put them in his lap so Monique would not see. "What about your father?" Monique finally asked. "What about your family? They don't want Mason, Jacob, and Lily in their lives. Your father made that very clear yesterday." "I don't care what my father wants," Harrison said. "You cared 6 years ago." 6 years ago I was wrong," Harrison said. "I chose wrong. I chose money and approval over love. I chose comfort over courage. I destroyed the best thing in my life because I was too scared to fight for it. I'm not making that mistake again." Monique turned to look at him. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying I choose them," Harrison said. "I choose Mason, Jacob, and Lily. Even if my father disowns me. Even if I lose all the family money. Even if I lose everything. I choose my children." "Those are easy words to say," Monique said. "But words don't mean anything. I need to see actions. I need proof that you've changed." "Tell me what to do," Harrison said, "and tell me how to prove it." Monique sat back down at her desk. She looked at Harrison carefully. "If I let you into their lives, you have to be consistent. You can't show up when it's convenient and disappear when it's hard. Children need reliability. They need to trust that you'll be there." "I'll be there," Harrison said. "I promise." "Don't promise yet," Monique said. "You don't know what you're agreeing to. Here are my rules. You can visit the children once a week, Saturday afternoons from 2 o'clock until 4 o'clock. You will not be late. You will not cancel. If you miss even one visit, you lose this chance forever." "I understand," Harrison said. "You will attend their school events, soccer games, art shows, music concerts. Whatever they have, you will be there." "I will." "You cannot bring any member of your family around my children until you prove you can stand up to them," Monique said. "Not your father, not your mother, not your brother, nobody. I will not let Richard Wellington near my children. If you want a relationship with them, you leave your family out of it." Harrison nodded. "Agreed." "You will not buy their love with expensive gifts," Monique said. "You will not try to impress them with money. You will spend time with them. Real time, playing and talking and listening. That's what they need, not toys or trips or anything money can buy." "I understand," Harrison said. "These are my children," Monique said. Her voice became harder. "I raised them alone. I fed them and clothed them and loved them. I was there for every scraped knee and bad dream and sick day. You were not. So if you come into their lives now, you do it my way. You follow my rules. You respect my decisions. Is that clear? Yes, Harrison said. Completely clear. Monique leaned back in her chair. Why should I trust you? You broke my heart once. Why won't you break theirs? Because breaking your heart was the biggest mistake of my life, Harrison said. I've lived with that mistake for 6 years. I'm not going to repeat it. I'm going to prove to you that I've changed. I'm going to prove to Mason, Jacob, and Lily that they can trust me. I don't know how long it will take, but I'm not giving up. Monique studied his face. I'll call you in a few days. I need to prepare the children first. They've been asking questions since yesterday. I need to explain who you are and why you weren't there before. What will you tell them? Harrison asked. The truth, Monique said. That you made mistakes, that you were young and scared, that you want to be their father now, and that we're going to see if you mean it. Harrison stood up. Thank you, he said. Thank you for giving me this chance. Don't thank me yet, Monique said. You haven't earned it. You're starting from zero, Harrison. You have to build their trust one day at a time, one visit at a time. Can you do that? Yes, Harrison said. I can. Harrison walked out of the office, out of the Marina building, back to his car. His legs felt weak, but his mind felt clear for the first time in years. He knew what he had to do. Harrison drove directly to his father's office building in Costa Mesa. It was a holiday. The building was mostly empty. But Harrison knew his father would be there. Richard Wellington worked every day, even holidays. Harrison took the elevator to the 10th floor. Margaret was not at her desk. Harrison walked straight into his father's office without knocking. Richard looked up from his computer. Harrison, good. I've been trying to call you. Your phone is going straight to voicemail. Did you break it? Yes, Harrison said. I threw it against a wall. Richard frowned. We need to talk about next steps. I spoke to 3 more lawyers this morning. One of them thinks we might be able to— I'm quitting, Harrison interrupted. Richard stopped talking. What? I'm quitting my job. I don't work for Wellington Real Estate Group anymore. Richard stood up. Don't be ridiculous. You can't quit. This is the family business. You've worked here for 15 years. I never wanted to work here, Harrison said. You made me work here? You told me it was my duty to the family. But I'm done doing things because you tell me to. Sit down, Richard said. You're being emotional. You're not thinking clearly. I'm thinking clearly for the first time in my life, Harrison said. I'm choosing my children over this company. I'm choosing them over your approval. I'm choosing them over money. Richard's face turned red. If you walk out of this office, you're done. I'll cut you off from the trust fund. I'll take your name off the inheritance. You'll get nothing from this family. I understand, Harrison said. You understand? Richard's voice got louder. You're throwing away millions of dollars. You're throwing away your future. For what? For 3 children you just met? For a woman who hates you? They're my children, Harrison said, and Monique has every right to hate me. I destroyed our relationship because you told me to. I was weak. I let you control my life, but I'm not weak anymore. You're being a fool, Richard said. That woman has manipulated you. She's playing games. She's trying to destroy this family. No, Harrison said. You destroyed this family 6 years ago when you made me choose between love and money. I chose wrong then. I'm choosing right now. Richard walked around his desk. He stood close to Harrison. If you leave this office, you are no longer my son. Do you understand? You are disowned. You get nothing. No money. No help. No family support. Nothing. Okay, Harrison said calmly. Richard looked shocked. He expected Harrison to back down. He expected Harrison to apologize and beg for forgiveness. That was what Harrison always did. But not today. Get out, Richard said quietly. Get out of my office. Harrison turned and walked out. He walked past Margaret's empty desk. He took the elevator down to the lobby. He walked out of Wellington Real Estate Group for the last time. Harrison sat in his car. His whole body was shaking, but he felt free. He felt like he had been carrying something heavy for 15 years and finally put it down. Harrison drove home. He walked through his empty house. Catherine's things were gone. The house felt hollow. Harrison pulled out his laptop. He searched for real estate agents. He called one. A woman answered. "I need to sell my house," Harrison said. "How fast can you list it?" "I can come look at it today," the woman said. "If everything is ready, we can list it tomorrow." "Do it," Harrison said. The real estate agent came that afternoon. She walked through every room. She took notes. "This is a beautiful house," she said. "Great location. Great view. We should be able to sell it quickly." "How quickly?" Harrison asked. "Maybe 2 or 3 weeks," she said. Harrison signed the papers. The house went on the market the next day. Harrison started looking for apartments. Small apartments. Cheap apartments. Places he could afford without his father's money. He found a 2-bedroom apartment in Huntington Beach. The rent was $1,500 per month. The apartment was old. The carpet was worn. The kitchen was small. But it had 2 bedrooms. One for Harrison, one for his children when they stayed overnight. If they ever stayed overnight. Harrison signed the lease. He would move in on January 15th. Next, Harrison needed a job. He did not want to work in real estate anymore. He did not want to work for his father's friends. He did not want anything connected to his old life. Harrison searched online for jobs. He found a posting for a nonprofit organization called Family Forward Alliance. They helped struggling families find housing and food. They needed a case manager. The job paid $45,000 per year. Less than half of what Harrison made at his father's company. Harrison applied. He wrote a cover letter. He explained he wanted to help people. He explained he understood what it meant to lose everything. He sent the application and waited. 3 days later, they called him for an interview. The interview was on January 5th at 10 o'clock in the morning. Harrison drove to the Family Forward Alliance office in Santa Ana. The building was small and plain. The parking lot had cracks in the pavement. This was nothing like his father's office building with its gold letters and marble lobby. Harrison walked inside. A woman at the front desk smiled at him. "You must be Harrison Wellington. I'm Sarah. Director Chen is ready for you. Follow me." Sarah led Harrison down a narrow hallway. They passed offices with people working at desks. Some were on phones. Some were typing on computers. Everyone looked busy. Everyone looked tired, but focused. Sarah knocked on a door at the end of the hall. "Mr. Wellington is here," she said. "Send him in," a voice answered. Harrison walked into the office. A man in his 50s stood up from behind a desk. He wore jeans and a button-down shirt. No suit, no tie. He extended his hand. "Harrison Wellington? I'm Tom Chen. Nice to meet you." They shook hands. Harrison sat down. The office was small but organized. Files stacked neatly on shelves. A coffee mug that said, "World's Best Dad." A photograph of Tom with 2 teenage kids. "Thank you for meeting with me," Harrison said. "I read your application," Tom said. "Your cover letter was interesting. You said you understand what it means to lose everything. What did you mean by that?" Harrison took a deep breath. "I grew up with money. My family is wealthy. I worked at my father's real estate company for 15 years. I had a big house, expensive cars, everything I needed. But 3 days ago, I found out I have 3 children I didn't know about. When I decided to be their father, my family disowned me. I quit my job. I'm selling my house. I'm moving into a small apartment. I'm starting over with nothing." Tom leaned back in his chair. "That's a big change. Why are you applying here? You could work for any real estate company in Orange County. You could make a lot more money than we can pay." "I don't want to work in real estate anymore," Harrison said. "I spent 15 years helping rich people get richer. I want to do something that matters. I want to help people who actually need help." "This job is hard," Tom said. "You'll work with families who are homeless or about to become homeless, families who can't afford food, parents who are struggling with addiction or mental health issues. You'll see people at their worst moments. Can you handle that?" "I don't know," Harrison said honestly, "but I want to try. I want to be useful. I want my children to be proud of what I do." Tom studied Harrison's face for a moment. "Tell me about your children. How old are they?" 5 years old, triplets. 2 boys and a girl. Mason, Jacob, and Lily. "Where have they been for 5 years?" "With their mother in Texas. She raised them alone. I wasn't there. I didn't know about them." "And now you want to be their father?" "Yes," Harrison said. "More than anything." Tom nodded slowly. "I have 2 kids, 16 and 14. Being a father is the hardest thing I've ever done. It's also the most important. If you're serious about being a good father, you need to be consistent. You need to show up. Not just when it's easy. Every day." "That's what I want to do," Harrison said. "That's why I'm here. I need a job that will let me be present for my children. A job that means something." Tom opened a folder on his desk. "This position pays $45,000 per year. The hours are 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. Sometimes we have evening events or weekend workshops, but mostly you'll have your weekends and evenings free. That's time you can spend with your children." "That sounds perfect," Harrison said. "The job involves meeting with families, helping them navigate housing applications, connecting them with resources, following up to make sure they get what they need. You'll do home visits. You'll fill out a lot of paperwork. You'll deal with bureaucracy. It's not glamorous." "I understand," Harrison said. Tom closed the folder. "I'm going to be honest with you, Harrison. When I saw your application, I was skeptical. Rich kid from Newport Beach wants to help poor families? I thought maybe you were having some kind of crisis. Maybe you'd work here for a month and then go back to your comfortable life." "I don't have a comfortable life anymore," Harrison said. "I threw it away. I chose my children over money and status. I'm not going back." "Why should I believe you?" Tom asked. "Because I'm sitting here in an apartment I haven't moved into yet, preparing to sell a house I can't afford, trying to get a job that pays 1/10 of what I used to make." Harrison said, "I'm not doing this because I'm bored or because I want to feel good about myself. I'm doing this because I destroyed my life 6 years ago by being weak and choosing wrong. I'm trying to build something better, something real." Tom was quiet for a long moment. Then he stood up. "When can you start?" Harrison blinked. "You're offering me the job?" "Yes," Tom said. "I'm offering you the job. You start on January 22nd. That gives you 2 weeks to get your life sorted. Sell your house, move into your apartment, get ready. Sound good?" Harrison stood up. His legs felt weak. "Yes, thank you. Thank you so much." "Don't thank me yet," Tom said. "Wait until you've worked here for a month. Then we'll see if you still want to thank me." They shook hands again. Harrison walked out of the office, out of the building, back to his car. He sat in the driver's seat and realized he was smiling. For the first time in years, he was actually smiling about something real. Harrison had a job. A real job that would help people. A job his children could be proud of. The next 2 weeks moved very fast. Harrison's house sold in 10 days to a couple from Los Angeles. They paid cash. They wanted to move in immediately. Harrison packed his belongings. He took his clothes, his books, his computer. He left everything else. The expensive furniture, the artwork, the things Catherine did not take. He told the new owners they could have it all. On January 15th, Harrison moved into his apartment in Huntington Beach. The apartment was on the second floor of an old building. The walls were thin. He could hear his neighbors talking. The carpet was brown and worn. The kitchen had old appliances. The bathroom had cracked tiles. But it was his. He did not need his father's money to pay for it. He did not need anyone's approval. Harrison set up his bedroom with a simple bed and dresser. He set up the second bedroom with 3 small beds. Beds for Mason, Jacob, and Lily. If they ever stayed with him. He did not know if that would happen, but he wanted to be ready. Harrison bought groceries. Simple things: bread, eggs, milk, fruit. He learned to cook basic meals: scrambled eggs, spaghetti, grilled cheese sandwiches. He had never cooked before. Catherine always hired someone to cook for them. Or they ate at restaurants. Now Harrison stood in his small kitchen and figured out how to use a stove. His mother called several times. Harrison did not answer. His father did not call at all. David sent one text message. "Dad is really angry. Hope you know what you're doing." Harrison deleted the message. Catherine's lawyer sent divorce papers. Harrison signed them without reading them carefully. Catherine could have whatever she wanted. The money did not matter anymore. 5 days after Harrison moved into his apartment, Monique called. Harrison's heart jumped when he saw her name on his phone screen. "Hello?" Harrison answered. "It's Monique," she said. "I talked to the children. I explained that you want to spend time with them. They're nervous, but they're willing to meet you." "When?" Harrison asked. "Saturday. This Saturday. January 19th. Can you come to my house at 2 o'clock? "Yes," Harrison said immediately. "I'll be there." "Do you remember where I live?" "Corona del Mar. The house on the cliff." "That's right," Monique said. "Come to the front door at exactly 2 o'clock. Not early. Not late. 2 o'clock. "I'll be there at 2 o'clock, Harrison said. "The visit will last 2 hours, Monique said. "From 2 until 4. Then you leave, understand?" "I understand." "Don't bring gifts," Monique said. "Don't try to impress them with expensive things. They don't need more toys. They need time and attention. Can you do that?" "Yes," Harrison said. "I can do that." "Harrison," Monique said. Her voice became softer. "They're going to ask you questions. Hard questions. About where you were. About why you didn't visit. You need to answer them honestly, but use simple words. They're 5 years old. They won't understand complicated explanations." "What should I say?" Harrison asked. "Tell them you made mistakes," Monique said. "Tell them you're sorry. Tell them you want to know them now. Tell them the truth." "Okay," Harrison said. "I will." "If they don't warm up to you right away, don't push," Monique said. "Let them come to you. Be patient." "I will." "And Harrison, if you're going to do this, you have to commit. You can't meet them once and then disappear. That would hurt them more than never meeting you at all." "I'm not going to disappear," Harrison said. "I promise." "We'll see," Monique said. Then she hung up. Harrison put his phone down. Saturday was 2 days away. 2 days until he met his children properly. 2 days to prepare. But how do you prepare for something like this? Harrison went to a bookstore. He asked the clerk for books about being a father. The clerk showed him a whole section. Parenting books. Books about discipline and development and education. Harrison bought 3 of them. He went home and read. Friday night, Harrison could not sleep. He lay in his bed in his small apartment and stared at the ceiling. He kept thinking about what he would say, how he would explain 6 years of absence. He practiced sentences in his head. None of them sounded right. Saturday morning came. Harrison got up at 7 o'clock, even though the meeting was not until 2. He showered. He put on simple clothes, jeans and a blue shirt. Nothing fancy. He did not want to look like the rich person he used to be. Harrison ate breakfast, but tasted nothing. He cleaned his apartment even though it was already clean. He checked the time every 10 minutes. The morning moved incredibly slowly. At noon, Harrison thought about bringing something. Not toys. Monique said no toys. But maybe craft supplies? Things they could do together? Harrison drove to a craft store. He walked through the aisles. He saw paints and markers and stickers and glue. He picked simple things. Construction paper in different colors. Crayons. Safety scissors. Stickers with animals and stars. Harrison paid for the supplies. He drove back to his apartment. He looked at the clock. 12:45. He needed to leave soon. The drive to Corona del Mar would take 30 minutes. He wanted to arrive exactly at 2 o'clock. Not early, not late. At 1:15, Harrison got in his car. His hands were shaking. He started the engine and drove toward Corona del Mar, toward Monique's house, toward his children. The drive felt eternal. Every red light seemed to last forever. Every slow driver made Harrison want to scream, but finally he turned onto the street where Monique lived. Her house appeared on the cliff overlooking the ocean. Harrison parked his car on the street. He looked at his phone. 1:57. 3 minutes early. Harrison sat in his car and waited. He watched the clock change. 1:58. 1:59. 2 o'clock. Harrison got out of his car. He grabbed the bag with the craft supplies. He walked to Monique's front door. His heart was beating so hard he could feel it in his throat. Harrison rang the doorbell. Footsteps approached from inside. The door opened. Monique stood there. She looked at Harrison carefully. She looked at the bag in his hands. "What's in the bag?" Monique asked. "Craft supplies," Harrison said. "Paper, crayons, things we can use together. You said no toys." I listened. Monique's expression softened slightly. "Okay, come in." Harrison stepped into the house. The inside was beautiful, bright and warm. Large windows showed the ocean. Children's drawings hung on the refrigerator. Toys sat in a basket by the couch. This was a home. A real home where people lived and laughed and made messes. "They're in the living room," Monique said quietly. "They're nervous. They don't understand why you weren't there before. I tried to explain, but they're 5 years old. Be patient with them." "I will," Harrison said. "And Harrison, if this becomes too hard for you, if you decide you can't do this, tell me now. Don't meet them and then change your mind later. That would destroy them." "I'm not changing my mind," Harrison said. "I'm here. I'm staying." Monique studied his face. Then she nodded. "Follow me." They walked through the house. Harrison's legs felt weak. His hands were sweating. They entered the living room. 3 small children sat on the floor. Mason, Jacob, and Lily. They wore matching red shirts. Their dark hair was neat. Their eyes were huge as they looked up at Harrison. "Kids, you remember Harrison," Monique said gently. "He's your dad. He came to visit like I told you." The 3 children stared. Nobody spoke. The silence felt heavy. Harrison set down his bag. He walked slowly toward them. Then he knelt down. He got on their level so he was not standing over them. "Hi," Harrison said. His voice came out rough. He cleared his throat. "Hi, Mason. Hi, Jacob. Hi, Lily. It's nice to see you again." "Hi," the 3 children said together. Their voices were very quiet. Harrison did not know what to say next. He looked at their faces. They had his eyes. They had Monique's smile. They were beautiful. They were his children. He missed 5 years of their lives. 5 years he would never get back. "I'm very sorry I wasn't there before," Harrison said. "I made mistakes, big mistakes. But I'm here now. I want to get to know you if that's okay with you." Jacob tilted his head. "Mommy said you live far away." "I used to live far away in my mind," Harrison said. "But actually, I live close. I live in Huntington Beach. That's only 20 minutes from here." "20 minutes?" Mason said. "That's not far. You could have visited us before." Harrison's chest hurt. "You're right. I could have. I should have. I didn't know you existed. Your mom didn't tell me she was pregnant. But that doesn't make it okay. I should have been here." "Why didn't Mommy tell you?" Lily asked. Her voice was so small. Harrison looked at Monique. She stood in the doorway, watching. She nodded slightly. Permission to answer. "Because I hurt your mom's feelings," Harrison said. "I left her when she needed me. She was very sad. So she didn't tell me about you. That was her choice. I don't blame her for it." Mason frowned. "Did you say sorry to Mommy?" "Yes," Harrison said. "Many times. But sorry isn't always enough. Sometimes you have to show you're sorry by doing better." "How will you do better?" Mason asked. This child asked hard questions. Harrison could see intelligence in Mason's eyes. He could see distrust, too. Mason was protecting his siblings. "I'll do better by showing up," Harrison said. "By coming to visit you every week. By going to your soccer games and school events. By being here when you need me. By being your dad in real ways, not just in words." Jacob suddenly stood up. He ran to a toy box in the corner. He came back carrying a box of building blocks. "Do you like building things?" Jacob asked. Harrison smiled. "I don't know. I've never really tried. Will you teach me?" Jacob's face lit up. "Yes, I'm really good at building. I built a tower that was this tall." He held his hand up high above his head. Jacob dumped the blocks on the floor. He sat down next to Harrison. He started pulling out blocks and stacking them. "You have to put the big ones on the bottom," Jacob explained, "or it falls down. See?" Harrison picked up a block. He placed it next to Jacob's block. "Like this?" "Yes," Jacob said. "You're doing it. Now put a blue one on top." They built together. Jacob talked the entire time. He explained his system for making towers. He told Harrison about his friend at school who also liked blocks. He told Harrison about the time he built a tower so tall it touched the ceiling. Harrison listened to every word. He watched Jacob's small hands place blocks carefully. He watched Jacob's face light up when the tower grew taller. Mason moved closer. He sat near Harrison, but not too close. He watched Harrison carefully. "Where do you work?" Mason asked. "I just got a new job," Harrison said while placing another block. "I start in a few days. I'll work at a place that helps families who need help." "What kind of help?" Mason asked. "Some families don't have homes. Some families don't have enough food. My job is to help them find homes and food." "That's a good job," Mason said. "Mommy says helping people is important." "Your mom is right," Harrison said. "Your mom is very smart." "Mommy built a whole company," Mason said proudly. "She made an app. Do you know what an app is?" "I do," Harrison said. "Mommy's app helped restaurants," Mason said. "She made it all by herself while taking care of us. Mommy is the best." "I know she is," Harrison said. He looked at Monique. She was still standing in the doorway. She was watching everything. Her expression was guarded. But Harrison thought he saw something softer in her eyes. Lily remained on the couch. She held a stuffed animal, a rabbit with floppy ears. She watched Harrison and her brothers but did not come close. The tower grew taller. Jacob was excited. "Look how high it is!" Jacob shouted. "This is the tallest one I ever made." "It's very tall," Harrison agreed. "You're really good at this." "Do you want to see my room?" Jacob asked suddenly. "I have more blocks in my room, and toy cars, and a poster of dinosaurs." Harrison looked at Monique. She shook her head slightly. "Not today, Jacob," Monique said gently. "Today, Harrison is visiting in the living room." "Why can't he see my room?" Jacob asked. "Because we're taking things slow," Monique said. "Harrison is here for 2 hours today. Maybe next time he can see your room." "Will there be a next time?" Mason asked. He looked directly at Harrison. "Or are you going to leave and not come back?" The question hit Harrison hard. This child was 5 years old. But he understood abandonment. He understood people leaving. "I'm coming back," Harrison said. "Next Saturday, and the Saturday after that, and every Saturday after that. I promise." "People break promises," Mason said. "You're right," Harrison said. "People do break promises. I broke a promise to your mom 6 years ago. I promised to love her, and then I left. So I understand why you don't trust me. But I'm asking you to give me a chance. Let me prove I mean it this time." Mason stared at Harrison for a long time. Then he nodded slightly. "Okay, one chance." They kept building. The tower was now 20 blocks high. Jacob was standing on his knees trying to reach the top. "Just one more," Jacob said. "Just one more block, and it'll be perfect." Jacob placed the final block. The tower swayed. Then it fell. Blocks scattered everywhere. Jacob laughed. "It was so tall," he said. "Did you see how tall it was?" "I saw," Harrison said. "That was amazing." They built another tower. This one was shorter but wider, more stable. Jacob explained that wide towers don't fall as easily as skinny towers. Harrison listened and learned. An hour passed. Harrison checked his watch. 1 more hour left. He wanted to slow down time. He wanted this visit to last forever. Lily climbed off the couch. She walked slowly across the room. She stopped a few feet from Harrison. She held out a piece of paper. "I made this," she said quietly. Harrison took the paper. It was a drawing. 4 stick figures holding hands. A tall woman. A tall man. 3 small children. The woman had long black hair. The man had brown hair. The 3 children were all the same size. "This is beautiful," Harrison said. His voice broke. "Is this us?" "Yes," Lily said. "That's Mommy. That's you. That's Mason and Jacob and me. We're a family." Harrison felt tears in his eyes. He tried to blink them away, but they came anyway. He looked at the drawing of 4 stick figures holding hands. A family. His family. "Can I keep this?" Harrison asked. Lily nodded. "I made it for you." "Thank you, Lily," Harrison said. "This is the best present anyone ever gave me." Lily smiled. It was a small smile, but it was real. She sat down next to Harrison, not touching him, but close. They sat on the floor together. Mason, Jacob, and Lily. Harrison pulled out the craft supplies he brought. He opened the bag and showed them the paper and crayons and stickers. "Want to make something together?" Harrison asked. The children grabbed supplies. They spread out on the floor. Jacob drew a picture of a dinosaur. Mason drew a house with a big yard. Lily drew flowers. Harrison drew a picture of the 3 of them building the tower. Monique came into the room. "It's almost 4 o'clock," she said. "Time to wrap up." "Already?" Jacob said. "But we just started." "It's been 2 hours," Monique said gently. "Harrison will come back next Saturday." The children looked at Harrison, waiting to see if it was true. "I'll be here next Saturday," Harrison said. "Same time, 2 o'clock. I promise." "You promise?" Jacob asked. "I promise," Harrison said. Harrison stood up. His knees hurt from sitting on the floor. He was 40 years old. He was not used to sitting on floors and playing with blocks, but he would get used to it. The children walked him to the door. Monique followed. Harrison turned to look at Mason, Jacob, and Lily. "Thank you for letting me visit," Harrison said. "I had a really good time." "Me too," Jacob said. He ran forward and hugged Harrison's leg. Harrison froze. He did not expect this. He carefully put his hand on Jacob's head. Jacob let go and ran back to his siblings. Mason waved. Lily held up her stuffed rabbit and made it wave too. Harrison walked out of the house. He walked to his car. He got in and closed the door. Then he started crying. He cried hard. His whole body shook. He put his head on the steering wheel and let the tears come. He cried for 5 lost years. He cried for Monique raising 3 children alone. He cried for the man he used to be, the weak man who chose wrong. But he also cried because Jacob hugged him, because Lily gave him a drawing, because Mason gave him one chance. Harrison sat in his car until he stopped crying. Then he looked at the drawing Lily made. 4 stick figures holding hands. A family. Harrison was not part of that family yet. Not really, but maybe someday he would be. If he kept showing up, if he proved he meant it, if he earned their trust one visit at a time. Harrison started his car. He drove back to his small apartment in Huntington Beach. The apartment felt less empty now. Harrison hung Lily's drawing on his refrigerator. He stood back and looked at it. 4 stick figures holding hands. A family he was going to fight for. Harrison started his new job on January 22nd. He arrived at the Family Forward Alliance office at 7:45 in the morning, 15 minutes early. Tom Chen met him in the lobby. "Ready for your first day?" Tom asked. "I think so," Harrison said. "You'll be fine," Tom said. "Come on, I'll show you your office." Tom led Harrison down the hallway. They stopped at a small office. A desk, a computer, a filing cabinet, a window that looked out at the parking lot. The office was tiny. Harrison's old office at Wellington Real Estate had been 5 times bigger. This office had no expensive furniture, no view of the ocean, no secretary. "This is yours," Tom said. "Your computer login information is on the desk. Sarah will get you set up with email and our case management system. You have 3 families assigned to you starting today. Their files are here." Tom handed Harrison 3 thick folders. "Read through these, get familiar with their situations, then we'll talk about next steps." Harrison sat at his desk. He opened the first file. A family of 4. Mother, father, 2 kids. They were living in their car. The father lost his job 6 months ago. They could not pay rent. They got evicted. Now they needed help finding housing and applying for assistance. Harrison read through all 3 files. Each family had different problems, but they all needed help. They all needed someone to guide them through systems they did not understand. At 10 o'clock, Tom came to Harrison's office. "Let's go meet your first family, the Johnsons. They're waiting in conference room 2. Harrison followed Tom down the hall. In the conference room sat a woman and a man. They looked tired. They looked scared. They looked like people who had been fighting for a long time and were running out of strength. "Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, this is Harrison Wellington," Tom said. "He'll be your case manager. He's going to help you find housing." Harrison shook their hands. He sat down across from them. "Tell me about your situation," Harrison said. "Tell me what you need." Mrs. Johnson started talking. Her voice shook. She explained how they lost their apartment, how they tried to find another place, but nobody would rent to them without pay stubs and references, how their kids were staying with Mrs. Johnson's sister, but there was not enough room, how they had been sleeping in their car for 3 weeks. Harrison listened. He took notes. He asked questions. Where were they looking for apartments? What was their budget? Did they have any income at all? After an hour, Harrison had a plan. He would help them apply for emergency housing assistance. He would contact landlords who accepted housing vouchers. He would help them get their documents together. He would follow up every step of the way. "How long will this take?" Mr. Johnson asked. "Our kids can't stay at my sister-in-law's house forever." "I don't know," Harrison said honestly. "The system moves slowly, but I promise I'll work as fast as I can. I'll call you every day with updates. You won't have to wonder what's happening. I'll tell you everything." Mrs. Johnson started crying. "Thank you," she said. "You're the first person who has actually listened to us." Harrison left work that day feeling exhausted. He had met with all three families. Each one had complicated problems. Each one needed help navigating systems that seemed designed to be confusing. But Harrison felt useful. For the first time in years, he felt like his work mattered. Saturday came. Harrison woke up excited. Today was his second visit with Mason, Jacob, and Lily. He got ready carefully. He made sure he left early enough to arrive exactly at 2 o'clock. Harrison drove to Monique's house. He parked on the street at 1:58. He waited in his car until 2 o'clock. Then he walked to the front door and rang the bell. Monique answered. "Right on time," she said. "I promised I would be," Harrison said. The children were in the living room again. This time they jumped up when Harrison walked in. Jacob ran to him. "You came back," Jacob said. "I told Mason you would come back." "I told you I would," Harrison said. "I keep my promises now." They spent 2 hours playing, building with blocks, drawing pictures. Jacob showed Harrison all the toy cars he owned. Mason asked Harrison questions about his job. Lily sat close to Harrison and showed him her favorite books. At 4 o'clock, Monique said it was time to end the visit. Harrison said goodbye. All three children hugged him this time. Even Mason gave him a quick hug before running back to his siblings. The next Saturday, Harrison came back, and the Saturday after that, and the Saturday after that. Harrison never canceled. He never showed up late. He came every single week at exactly 2 o'clock. After the 5th visit, Monique asked Harrison to stay for dinner. "Just pizza," Monique said. "Nothing fancy, but the kids want you to stay." Harrison stayed. They ate pizza at the kitchen table. The children talked about school. Jacob talked about his soccer team. Mason talked about the chapter book he was reading. Lily talked about her art class at school. "You're on a soccer team?" Harrison asked Jacob. "When are your games?" "Saturdays at 10 o'clock in the morning," Jacob said, "at the park near our school." Harrison looked at Monique. "Can I come to a game?" Monique hesitated. "You don't have to do that." "I want to," Harrison said, "if it's okay with you." Monique looked at Jacob. Jacob's face was hopeful. "Please, Mommy. Please. Can Harrison come watch my game?" "Okay," Monique said. "The next game is this Saturday, 10 o'clock at Oak Canyon Park." That Saturday, Harrison went to Jacob's soccer game. He stood on the sideline with the other parents. Jacob saw him and waved. Harrison waved back. Jacob played hard. He ran all over the field. He kicked the ball. He fell down twice and got back up. After the game, Jacob ran to Harrison. "Did you see me? Did you see me kick the ball?" "I saw everything," Harrison said. "You were great." Monique walked over with Mason and Lily. "You actually came," Monique said. She sounded surprised. "I said I would," Harrison said. 2 weeks later, Lily had an art show at school. Monique mentioned it during Harrison's Saturday visit. "It's on Thursday evening at 6 o'clock, Monique said. "Parents can come see the kids' artwork." "Can I come?" Harrison asked. Monique looked uncertain. "It's a school event. People will ask questions. They'll wonder who you are." "I'm Lily's father," Harrison said. "That's who I am." Monique nodded slowly. "Okay, you can come." Thursday evening, Harrison went to the art show. The school gym was full of parents and children. Artwork hung on the walls. Lily's paintings were in the kindergarten section. She had painted flowers and butterflies. Harrison stood in front of her paintings and felt proud. Lily found him in the crowd. "You came," she said. "You came to my art show." "Of course I came," Harrison said. "Your paintings are beautiful." Other parents looked at Harrison. Some whispered. Harrison knew they were probably talking about him. The Wellington family drama had been in the society pages. People knew about Monique's return. People knew about the triplets. Let them talk. Harrison did not care. Mason had a school music concert in March. Harrison went. He sat in the audience and watched Mason sing with his kindergarten class. Mason kept looking at Harrison to make sure he was still there. Harrison stayed for the entire concert. The weeks turned into months. February became March. March became April. Harrison went to every Saturday visit. He never missed. He went to every soccer game, every school event. Every time the children needed him, he was there. Slowly, the children started to trust him. Mason stopped asking if Harrison was going to leave. Jacob started calling Harrison Dad instead of Harrison. Lily asked Harrison to read her bedtime stories during his visits. One Saturday in late April, Monique invited Harrison to stay after the 2-hour visit. The children went outside to play in the backyard. Monique and Harrison sat on the back porch, watching them. "You've been consistent," Monique said. "I didn't think you would be. I thought you'd visit a few times and then get tired of it." "I'm not tired of it," Harrison said. "This is the best part of my week. Every week. Seeing them, spending time with them, it's everything." "They're starting to depend on you," Monique said. "Do you understand what that means? If you leave now, it will break their hearts." "I'm not leaving," Harrison said. "I'm not going anywhere." Monique watched her children play. Mason was pushing Lily on the swing. Jacob was digging in the sandbox. "Tell me about your job," Monique said. "Are you still working at that nonprofit?" "Yes," Harrison said. "I help families find housing. It's hard work. The system is broken in a lot of ways. But when I can help a family move out of their car and into an apartment, it feels good. It feels like I'm actually doing something useful." "What does your father think about your job?" Monique asked. "I don't know," Harrison said. "I haven't talked to him since I quit his company. He disowned me. I'm not part of the family anymore." "Do you regret it?" Monique asked. "Giving up all that money? That life?" Harrison watched Mason push Lily higher on the swing. He watched Jacob build a sandcastle. He watched his children play and laugh and be happy. "No," Harrison said. "I don't regret it at all." In May, Monique made a big announcement. She invited Harrison to stay for dinner on a Saturday. After they ate, Monique looked at the children. "I have something to talk to you about," Monique said. "All of you, including Harrison." The children stopped eating. They looked at their mother. "Harrison has been visiting every week for 4 months," Monique said. "He's been coming to your games and your school events. He's been consistent and reliable, so I think it's time to make a change." Harrison's heart beat faster. Was Monique ending the visits? Did he do something wrong? "Instead of Harrison visiting once a week, I want him to have you overnight," Monique said. 2 nights per week, Tuesday and Thursday. You'll sleep at Harrison's apartment. You'll have breakfast with him. Then he'll take you to school in the morning." The children looked at each other. Then they looked at Harrison. "You have beds for us?" Mason asked. "Yes," Harrison said. "I have 3 beds in a bedroom. I set them up 4 months ago. I've been waiting for this." "Can we bring our stuffed animals?" Lily asked. "You can bring anything you want," Harrison said. "I want to bring my blocks," Jacob said. "Bring your blocks," Harrison said. Monique looked at Harrison. "This is a big responsibility, getting 3 kids ready for school, making them breakfast, making sure they have everything they need. Can you handle it?" "Yes," Harrison said. "I can handle it." "If you're late even once, this arrangement ends," Monique said. "School starts at 8 o'clock. You need to have them there by 7:50. Every Tuesday and Wednesday morning. Every Thursday and Friday morning. No excuses." "I understand," Harrison said. Monique stood up. She walked to a drawer and pulled out papers. "This is a schedule, drop-off times, pick-up times, their school's address, emergency contacts, their doctor's information. Read all of it. Follow all of it." Harrison took the papers. His hands were shaking. This was real. His children were going to stay at his apartment, sleep in the beds he bought for them, eat breakfast at his table. This was real fatherhood, not just visits, real daily responsibility. "When do we start?" Harrison asked. "Next Tuesday," Monique said. "I'll pack their bags. You pick them up at 5 o'clock on Tuesday evening. You bring them back to me on Wednesday after school at 4 o'clock. Same thing Thursday and Friday. Can you do that?" "Yes," Harrison said. "I can do that." The children cheered. Jacob jumped up and down. Lily clapped her hands. Even Mason smiled, a real smile that reached his eyes. Harrison looked at Monique. She was watching him carefully, testing him. This was his chance to prove he was serious. This was his chance to show he was not the same weak man from 6 years ago. Harrison was ready. Tuesday came. Harrison left work at 4:30 in the afternoon. He drove directly to Monique's house. He arrived at exactly 5 o'clock. His car had 3 car seats installed in the back. Harrison spent 2 hours last weekend learning how to install them correctly. Monique answered the door. Mason, Jacob, and Lily stood behind her. They each held a small backpack. "They're ready," Monique said. "I packed their pajamas, clothes for tomorrow, toothbrushes. Everything is in their bags. I also packed their lunches for school tomorrow. They're in this cooler." Monique handed Harrison a small cooler bag. "Their school is Seaside Elementary on Pacific Coast Highway. You have the address, right?" "Yes," Harrison said. "I drove there yesterday to make sure I knew the way." "School starts at 8 o'clock. Drop them off between 7:45 and 7:55. Not earlier, not later. Park in the drop-off line. A teacher will help them out of the car." "I understand," Harrison said. "If there's any problem, call me immediately," Monique said. "If someone gets sick, if they can't sleep, if anything happens, call me." "I will," Harrison said. Monique knelt down in front of her children. "Okay, babies, you're going to sleep at Dad's house tonight. You'll be good, right?" "We'll be good," the 3 children said together. "I'll see you tomorrow afternoon," Monique said. She hugged each child. She held them a little longer than usual. Harrison could see this was hard for her. She had never spent a night away from them. The children walked to Harrison's car. Harrison helped them into their car seats. He checked each buckle twice. Mason sat on the left, Jacob in the middle, Lily on the right. Harrison got in the driver's seat. "Everyone ready?" Harrison asked. "Ready!" the children shouted. Harrison drove carefully. He drove slower than usual. He stopped completely at every stop sign. He checked his mirrors constantly. He had precious cargo in his car. They arrived at Harrison's apartment building in Huntington Beach. Harrison parked and helped the children out. They walked up the stairs to the 2nd floor. Harrison unlocked the door. "Welcome to my home," Harrison said. "You're home too now. 2 days every week." The children walked inside. They looked around. The apartment was small. The furniture was simple. But Harrison had prepared. He bought a small table for coloring. He bought books and puzzles. He made the 2nd bedroom special for them. "Want to see your room?" Harrison asked. The children followed Harrison down the short hallway. He opened the door to the 2nd bedroom. 3 small beds lined the walls. Each bed had different colored sheets. Blue for Mason, green for Jacob, purple for Lily. Above each bed hung a photograph. Photos Harrison took during his Saturday visits. Mason building with blocks, Jacob playing soccer, Lily painting. "These are your beds," Harrison said. "This is your room. You can keep toys here. You can put up posters, whatever you want." Jacob jumped on his bed. "It's bouncy," he said. "Look how bouncy it is." Lily put her stuffed rabbit on her pillow. "My bunny likes it here," she said. Mason walked around the room slowly. He opened the small closet. Empty hangers waited inside. "We can keep clothes here?" Mason asked. "Yes," Harrison said. "Your mom is going to send some of your clothes. You'll have clothes here and clothes at Mom's house." They explored the apartment. Harrison showed them the bathroom, where they would brush their teeth, where their toothbrushes went. He showed them the kitchen, where they would eat breakfast. He showed them the living room, where they could watch TV before bed. "What's for dinner?" Jacob asked. Harrison pulled out a box of spaghetti. "Spaghetti and meatballs. Is that okay?" "I love spaghetti," Jacob said. Harrison cooked while the children played in the living room. He boiled water, he cooked the pasta, he heated up the sauce and meatballs. Cooking was still new to Harrison, but he was getting better at it. They ate dinner at the small kitchen table. The children told Harrison about school, about their friends, about what they were learning. Harrison listened to every word. After dinner, Harrison cleaned the dishes. The children helped. Lily dried the plates with a towel. Mason put the forks in the drawer. Jacob wiped the table. "Time to get ready for bed," Harrison said. The children put on their pajamas. They brushed their teeth. Harrison helped Lily because she was still learning. They climbed into their beds. Harrison sat on the floor between all three beds. "Do you want me to read you a story?" Harrison asked. "Yes," all three children said. Harrison pulled out a book, a story about a bear who could not sleep. He read slowly. He used different voices for different characters. Jacob laughed. Lily's eyes got heavy. Mason listened quietly. When Harrison finished the story, he turned off the main light. He left the nightlight on. A soft glow filled the room. "Good night, Mason," Harrison said. "Good night, Jacob. Good night, Lily. I'm right in the next room, if you need anything." "Good night, Dad," Jacob said. "Good night," Lily whispered. Mason did not say anything, but he nodded. Harrison walked to the door. He left it open a crack. He went to his own bedroom. He lay on his bed, but did not sleep. He listened, waiting to hear if anyone cried or needed something. At 9:30, he heard footsteps. Small footsteps. Harrison got up. Lily stood in the hallway. She held her stuffed rabbit. "What's wrong, sweetheart?" Harrison asked quietly. "I can't sleep," Lily said. "I miss Mommy." "Do you want me to call her?" Harrison asked. Lily nodded. Harrison got his phone. He called Monique. She answered immediately. "Is everything okay?" Monique asked. She sounded worried. "Everything is fine," Harrison said. "Lily wants to say goodnight to you." Harrison handed the phone to Lily. "Hi, Mommy," Lily said. Her voice was very small. "I miss you." Harrison could hear Monique's voice through the phone. Gentle and soothing. Telling Lily she loved her. Telling Lily she would see her tomorrow. Telling Lily she was safe with Dad. After a few minutes, Lily handed the phone back. "Mommy said I should try to sleep now." "Okay," Harrison said. "Let's get you back to bed." Harrison walked Lily back to her room. He tucked her in. He made sure her rabbit was next to her. "I'm right in the next room," Harrison said. "If you need anything at all, come get me." "Okay," Lily said. This time, Lily fell asleep. Harrison checked on all three children several times during the night. Each time they were sleeping peacefully. Morning came early. Harrison's alarm went off at 6 o'clock. He got up and got dressed. Then he woke the children. They were groggy and slow. Getting 3 5-year-olds ready for school was harder than Harrison expected. "I don't want to wear this shirt," Mason said. "My sock feels wrong," Jacob complained. "I can't find my other shoe," Lily said. Harrison stayed calm. He helped Mason find a different shirt. He fixed Jacob's sock. He found Lily's shoe under her bed. Breakfast was chaos. Jacob spilled his orange juice. Lily dropped her toast. Mason ate very slowly. Harrison cleaned up spills and encouraged them to eat faster. They needed to leave by 7:30 to get to school on time. At 7:25, Harrison got all 3 children into the car. He drove to Seaside Elementary. He pulled into the drop-off line at 7:48. Perfect timing. A teacher opened the car door. "Good morning," the teacher said. She helped the children out. Mason, Jacob, and Lily grabbed their backpacks. "Have a good day," Harrison called. "I'll pick you up at 3:15. The children waved. They walked into school with the other kids. Harrison watched until they disappeared inside the building. Then he drove to work. Harrison was exhausted. Getting 3 kids ready for school was more work than anything he had ever done. But he did it. He got them there on time. That afternoon, Harrison picked them up at 3:15. He drove them back to Monique's house. Monique was waiting at the door. "How did it go?" Monique asked. "Good," Harrison said. "We had breakfast. I got them to school on time. No problems." Monique looked at the children. "Did you have fun at Dad's house?" "Yes," Jacob said. "We had spaghetti, and Dad read us a story." "Did you sleep okay?" Monique asked. "I missed you," Lily said, "but Dad let me call you." Monique looked at Harrison. Her expression softened. "Thank you for that." "Of course," Harrison said. "Same thing Thursday," Monique said. 5 o'clock. "I'll be here," Harrison said. Thursday came. Harrison picked up the children again. They stayed overnight again. This time getting ready for school was a little easier. Harrison knew the routine now. He knew Mason liked his socks a certain way. He knew Jacob needed extra time to wake up. He knew Lily needed help finding her shoes. Weeks passed. Tuesday and Thursday became routine. The children stayed with Harrison. He cooked them dinner. He helped with homework. He read bedtime stories. He got them to school on time every single morning. One Tuesday in late June, Harrison picked up the children as usual. But when he arrived at Monique's house, she looked upset. Her face was tight. Her jaw was clenched. "What's wrong?" Harrison asked. Monique handed him papers, legal documents. Harrison looked at them. His stomach dropped. Petition for custody, filed by Richard Wellington. "Your father is trying to take my children," Monique said. Her voice shook with anger. "He filed this yesterday. He's claiming I'm an unfit mother. He's claiming the children belong with the Wellington family." Harrison read through the document. It was full of lies. It said Monique kept the children secret to manipulate Harrison. It said she was not providing a stable home. It said the Wellington family could provide better opportunities. "I didn't know about this," Harrison said. "I swear I didn't know." "Read the last page," Monique said. Harrison flipped to the last page. There was a section about Harrison. It said Harrison wanted custody. It said Harrison supported his father's petition. "That's not true," Harrison said. "I never said that. I never agreed to this." "Are you sure?" Monique asked. "Because if your father wins, if he gets custody, you get your family money back. You get your life back. This could be what you wanted all along." "No," Harrison said firmly. "This is not what I want. I want Mason, Jacob, and Lily to stay with you. You're their mother. You raised them. They belong with you." Monique stared at him. "Prove it." "How?" "Fight this with me," Monique said. Testify against your father in court. Tell the judge the truth about everything, about why you left me, about how Richard forced you, about who you really are. Can you do that?" Harrison looked at the petition in his hands. His father was making him choose again. 6 years ago, Harrison chose his family's money and approval. 6 years ago, he chose wrong. "Yes," Harrison said, "I'll testify. I'll tell the truth, all of it." The custody hearing was scheduled for 3 weeks later. Monique hired a lawyer named Rebecca Torres. Rebecca was known for winning difficult family cases. Harrison met with Rebecca and Monique in Rebecca's office. "Tell me everything," Rebecca said. "I need to understand the whole story, from the beginning." Harrison told her everything: how he met Monique, how his father forced him to leave her, how he found out about the children, how he quit his job and changed his life. Rebecca took notes while he talked. "Richard Wellington is claiming you want custody," Rebecca said. "He's saying you support his petition." "That's a lie," Harrison said. "I don't want to take the children from Monique. I want them to stay with their mother. I just want to be part of their lives." "Will you testify to that in court?" Rebecca asked. "Yes," Harrison said. "I'll testify to everything. I'll tell the truth about my father, about how he controls people, about how he forced me to leave Monique 6 years ago." Rebecca looked at Monique. "This is good. If Harrison testifies against his own father, it destroys Richard's case. But Harrison, you need to understand something. Your father will never forgive you for this. He'll cut you off permanently. You'll lose any chance of getting your inheritance back." "I don't care about the inheritance," Harrison said. "I care about my children. I care about doing what's right." The 3 weeks passed slowly. Harrison continued his routine. Work during the day. Mason, Jacob, and Lily stayed with him Tuesday and Thursday nights. He went to all their activities, soccer games, school events. He was present in their lives every single day. The custody hearing was on July 15th at 9 o'clock in the morning. Harrison wore a simple suit. Not expensive, not the designer suits he used to wear, just a clean, simple suit from a department store. He met Monique and Rebecca outside the courthouse. Monique looked nervous. She wore a black dress and held her purse tightly. "Are you ready?" Rebecca asked Harrison. "Yes," Harrison said. They walked into the courthouse. The courtroom was large and cold. Richard Wellington sat at a table with 3 lawyers. He wore an expensive suit. His silver hair was perfect. His face showed no emotion when he saw Harrison walk in. Patricia sat in the back row. David sat next to her. They both looked uncomfortable. They did not look at Harrison. The judge entered. Everyone stood. The judge was a woman in her 60s named Judge Morrison. She sat behind her desk and looked at everyone carefully. "This is a petition for custody filed by Richard Wellington," Judge Morrison said. "Let's begin." Richard's lawyers went first. They argued that Monique kept the children secret for 5 years. They argued that she denied the Wellington family their right to know their grandchildren. They argued that the children would have better opportunities with the Wellington family. Then Rebecca stood up. "Your Honor, I'd like to call Harrison Wellington to the stand." Harrison walked to the witness stand. He put his hand on the Bible and swore to tell the truth. He sat down. His heart was beating fast, but his mind was clear. Rebecca stood in front of him. "Harrison, are you the father of Mason, Jacob, and Lily Rodriguez?" "Yes," Harrison said. "They're my children." "Did you know Monique Rodriguez was pregnant 6 years ago?" "No," Harrison said. "I didn't know." "Why didn't you know?" "Because I ended my relationship with Monique before she could tell me. I left her. I broke her heart. She decided not to tell me about the pregnancy." "Why did you end the relationship?" Harrison looked at his father. Richard stared back at him. His face was hard. Harrison took a deep breath. "My father forced me to end it," Harrison said. "He called me into his office. He told me Monique was just a waitress. He said she would never fit into our family. He threatened to disown me if I didn't leave her. I was weak. I was scared. So I did what he said. I broke up with Monique without explaining why. It's the biggest regret of my life." Rebecca nodded. "Do you support your father's custody petition?" "No," Harrison said firmly. "Absolutely not. Monique is an excellent mother. She raised 3 children alone while building a billion-dollar company. She gives them love, structure, and values. They're happy and healthy. They belong with her." "Then why is your name on this petition?" Rebecca asked. "I don't know," Harrison said. "My father put my name there without asking me. He's trying to manipulate the situation. He's trying to control everything the way he always does." Richard's lawyer stood up. "Objection, Your Honor. The witness is making accusations without evidence." "Overruled," Judge Morrison said. "Continue." Rebecca looked at Harrison. "What kind of relationship do you have with your children now?" "I see them twice a week," Harrison said. "They stay overnight at my apartment on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I take them to school. I go to their soccer games and school events. I'm building a relationship with them slowly, earning their trust." "What happened when you decided to be a father to your children?" "My father disowned me," Harrison said. "He cut me off from the family money. I quit my job at his company. I sold my house. I moved into a small apartment. I got a new job at a non-profit that pays much less. But I don't regret any of it. My children are worth more than money." Harrison testified for 2 hours. He answered every question honestly. Richard's lawyers tried to make him look bad. They asked why he abandoned Monique 6 years ago. Harrison told the truth. He was a coward. He let his father control him. He made terrible choices. After Harrison, Rebecca called witnesses from the children's school, teachers who knew Mason, Jacob, and Lily. They testified that the children were well-adjusted, happy, polite. They had good grades. They had friends. Their mother was involved in their education. Richard's lawyers had no good response. They tried to argue that money mattered, that the Wellington family could provide private schools and expensive opportunities. But Judge Morrison did not look impressed. The hearing lasted 3 months. Different witnesses, different arguments. But the outcome became clear early on. Richard had no case. He was trying to take children away from a good mother for no reason except pride and control. On October 10th, Judge Morrison made her ruling. Everyone gathered in the courtroom. Monique held Harrison's hand. She was shaking. "I've reviewed all the evidence and testimony," Judge Morrison said. "Richard Wellington has provided no proof that Monique Rodriguez is an unfit mother. In fact, all evidence shows the opposite. Miss Rodriguez has raised 3 healthy, happy children while building a successful career. The children are thriving in her care." Richard's face turned red. "Mr. Wellington's petition appears to be motivated by pride rather than the best interests of the children." Judge Morrison continued, "This petition is dismissed. Miss Rodriguez will retain full custody of Mason, Jacob, and Lily. Additionally, Mr. Wellington will pay Miss Rodriguez's legal fees." The gavel came down. It was over. Richard lost. Richard stood up. His lawyers tried to talk to him, but he pushed past them. He walked out of the courtroom. Patricia followed him. David looked at Harrison once, then left. Monique started crying. Happy tears. Rebecca hugged her. Harrison stood there feeling relief wash over him. Outside the courthouse, Monique turned to Harrison. "Thank you," she said. "Thank you for testifying. I know that was hard." "It wasn't hard," Harrison said. "It was necessary. My father needed to hear the truth. The judge needed to hear the truth." Monique looked at him carefully. "You've changed. You're not the same person who left me 6 years ago." "I'm trying to be better," Harrison said. Every day. For them. 2 weeks later, Monique called Harrison. Can you come over? I want to talk to you about something. Harrison drove to her house. Monique invited him in. The children were at school. The house was quiet. I've been thinking, Monique said. You've proven yourself. For 6 months, you've been consistent. You've shown up. You've been there for them. You testified against your own father. You chose them over everything else. They're my children, Harrison said. Of course I chose them. I want to change our arrangement, Monique said. Instead of 2 nights per week, I want you to have them 2 full days per week. Every Tuesday and Wednesday, every Thursday and Friday. Overnight both nights. 4 days and 3 nights total each week. Harrison felt tears in his eyes. Really? Really, Monique said. They need their father, and you've proven you can be the father they need. 1 year passed. Harrison's life settled into a rhythm. Work at the nonprofit. Time with his children. He got promoted to program manager. His boss, Tom, said Harrison was the best case manager they ever had. Harrison's apartment became a real home for his children. They kept clothes there, toys, books. The walls had their artwork. The refrigerator had their school papers and photographs. December 24th arrived. Christmas Eve. Monique called Harrison that morning. What are you doing tonight? Monique asked. Nothing, Harrison said. I was going to stay home. Come spend Christmas Eve with us, Monique said. The kids want you here. I want you here. Harrison arrived at Monique's house at 6 o'clock that evening. Mason, Jacob, and Lily ran to the door. They wore matching Christmas pajamas. They were excited and loud. Dad, you're here! Jacob shouted. Come see the Christmas tree! The tree was tall and covered in lights. Presents sat underneath. The house smelled like cookies and cinnamon. They ate dinner together, ham and mashed potatoes and green beans. The children talked about what they hoped Santa would bring. After dinner, they opened one present each. A Christmas Eve tradition. Harrison gave each child a gift he made. He built a wooden toy chest for Jacob. He built a frame for Lily's artwork. He built a bookshelf for Mason. The children loved them, not because they were expensive, because their dad made them with his own hands. At 9 o'clock, Mason fell asleep on the couch. His head rested on Harrison's shoulder. Jacob and Lily played with their new presents on the floor. Monique sat next to Harrison. They watched the children in the soft light of the Christmas tree. Thank you, Harrison said quietly. Thank you for giving me this chance. Monique smiled. It was a real smile, a warm smile. You earned it. You proved you changed through your actions, not through words, through showing up every single day. Harrison looked at his children. Mason asleep on his shoulder. Jacob and Lily happy and safe. He lost his family's money. He lost the mansion and expensive cars. He lost his social status, but he gained everything that mattered. His children's love, his own self-respect. A life built on truth instead of lies. Harrison Wellington finally became the man he should have been all along. If you enjoyed today's video, I'm sure you'll love the next one. Don't waste time. Just click on the screen